Ladies and gentlemen, and online viewers from around the world, good afternoon. Welcome to 2021 World Telecom Smart City Conference. The theme of this year's conference is towards 5G and AIoT Future. Global telecom giants will share their insights on developing diverse solutions, building smart cities, and pioneering future opportunities. So ladies and gentlemen, to kickstart this afternoon's program, we would like to invite Ms. Pei Li Chen, Deputy Director General, Industrial Development Bureau, Ministry of Economic Affairs Taiwan, to say a few words. So without further ado, let us put our hands together and give a very warm welcome to Ms. Chen.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Industrial Development Bureau, Ministry of Economic Affairs, welcome all of you to today's World Telecom Smart City Conference. Thank you for your time coming to today's meeting. As you may know that with the development of AI, 5G, AIoT, and so on, the telecom operator has played a very important role. So that's why we hold today's conference. This is the 5th year that we hold this conference together with TCA. This conference is targeting to system and telecom operator would like to share their experience and up-to-date solution of smart city. So with today's conference, we can explore more and more business opportunity. And in 2019, there are one very famous telecom from Thailand, the Cat-Tel. They visit this exhibition and they visit Chunghwa Telecom. So they have signed a MOU to enhance and joint promote the application of 5G smart city in Thailand. So in today's conference, we invite many experts from the telecom. For example, the AI Telecom from Austria and Rose Telecom from Russia, and also we have many Taiwanese company. For example, the Chunghwa Telecom, they are going to showcase their 5G entertainment experience, and also we have the Wave In. They work together with Inventec on the 5G smart factory. Besides that, we have another company that is Cortronic. They are applying the autonomous vehicle on the smart factory inspection. And besides that, you may know that my bureau, IDB, we have a Smart City Taiwan project. In the past 3 years, there are more than 200 projects has been implemented in Taiwan. We got a lot of successful experience on the smart city and also on the service, smart service in terms of smart transportation, smart e-health, or education, entertainment, and so on. So later on, my colleague, they will introduce you the outcome of our project. Maybe can give you some inspiration to the application of smart city. Finally, I would like to say that, again, welcome all your participation in today's conference. And I would like to make a wish that there are no more pandemic next year, so that we can have a real conference next year, and we can, again, we can arrange a real site visit for all of our distinguished guests. So thank you for your coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chen, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us this afternoon. And the presentation session will now begin. Each presenter will have about 10 minutes to make their presentation. And the first presenter in the afternoon will be Dr. Yong-Han Chen from the Smart City Project Office, delegated by the Industrial Development Bureau, Ministry of Economic Affairs, Taiwan. The topic of his presentation today will be Taiwan's 5G open network industry and promotion. Please welcome Dr. Chen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yong-Han Chen from Communication Industry Development Project Office. And today I would like to share with you about our Taiwan 5G open network industry and promotion. So, okay. So to go to the next page. Oh, sorry. Okay. First, I would like to talk about some observations about the 5G open network. Some statistics in 2019, you can see that 3G and 4G have about around 20 million base stations, and it will be estimated that there will be much more base stations in 5G system because of its wider and higher frequency, and also more vertical and private applications. So in order to decrease the CapEx and the OpEx in 5G systems, the MNOs and communication service providers are looking for some solutions that will make the CapEx and the OpEx lower. So they're looking for the ways, and they think that the open network will be a solutions to do that. So, okay, talking about the open network, there are four major parts. First two are the open hardware and the open software disaggregation. And you can see that the major part plays the fundamental role in the open network because they are the major equipment basis. And the open hardware, also usually called white box, play very important roles because it will be a higher flexibility to integrate the various of software package of network functions. Then we talk about the open interfaces. The open interfaces are required to integrate the software and the hardware, and also to integrate the different network entities as well. And you also need the open management to operate, manage, and control and monitor the operation of the open network. And finally, it needs the integration and the tests and the verifications. We need to do a lot of tests and verifications to ensure that the open network work well when we put whole things together. And in Taiwan, we have a very strong industry ecosystem in open network. We have IT industry, the city industry. We also have the very active system integrators, and also the MNOs, for example, the operators, will show their interest in using the open network for their private solutions at the very first stage. Okay, so in Taiwan industry, there are two major solutions for the open network. The first one is the transport, and the second one is the RAN. You all know that we have a very strong IT and CT OEM, ODM ecosystem in Taiwan. So these companies play a very important role in the open network ecosystem, and they are very aggressive to provide the open network solutions. Okay, so we have been observed this trend in 2018, and we started some study and researches on the open network. And the Industrial Development Bureau started to sponsor the open network promotion and the industry ecosystem since 2019. And we also established the open network phase 1 open network laboratory in 2020. So you can see that in 2020, we built an open network laboratory with NSA core, collaborate with our local and global companies. And we also do a couple of test events in our laboratory. And we try to extend this network in this year. So we plan to extend the core to a multi-core environment. And we'll try to introduce the open transport and including the open front haul in the open RAN system, and the edge computing solutions in our laboratory, so we can do the whole end-to-end and more flexible and more comprehensive test in our laboratory. Okay, so the multi-core will be located in E3 headquarters in Hsinchu. And you can see that our laboratory will be located here. And since this is a campus, so we're looking for the opportunity to extend our test to the field. So we can, in addition to the test in the laboratory, can also do the field trial and some more real POCs. Okay. And we also plan a 4-year roadmap to do the integration and the verifications. So you can see that in last year, we already done a couple of tests on the Open RAN, interrupt with NSA core, and some tests also with the SA core. And in this year, we'll try to upgrade the core to the SA in our whole network. And we'll also do a front haul and back haul transport integration, and also the MEC and the management solutions, for example, the RIC, the related trial. Okay, and in next year, we'll try to do more heterogeneous integration, and in the last year, we'll do a more advanced technology test and verifications. Okay, so there were 3 test cases in last year, and you can see that we do the Open RAN integration with NSA core, and the first team, the Chunghwa Telecom and the Pegatron, they bring their solutions in our lab to do the SA core interrupt. The second team, the Foxconn, and they brought their product in our lab to do the inter-op with the NS core and the SA core as well. And the third team is Quanta Computer. And they cooperate with Alliance Technology who provide the Open RAN product solutions in the test. Okay, finally, I think we also looking at the applications of the Open RAN solutions, maybe to be applied in the smart city applications. So now we are looking for the possibility of applications in many aspects. For example, the healthcare plus 5G Open RAN, open networking, self-driving, and manufacturing, and recreations. So we hope that these applications can use the open network solutions because it's very competitive in the cost, and I hope we can help the industry to make their open network more mutual and make this industry success. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Dr. Chen. You may now return to your seat. And we would like to thank Dr. Chen for introducing Taiwan's 5G open network infrastructure, industry, and related projects. Moving on, the second speaker of the conference will be Dr. Joseph Y.C. Kuo, Managing Director, Digital Products Department, Mobile Business Group, Chunghwa Telecom. Dr. Kuo will talk about 5G cross-domain integration of entertainment applications. Let us give him a very warm welcome.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be here today. Today I would like to talk to you a little bit about, allow me to take this off. Talk to you about a little bit about the recent project we had done. It's related to entertainment. And I also like to address how the entertainment industry can utilize and benefit from the 5G super low latency and ultra high speed and high quality to bring the value to the users. So let me start brief the background of my company, Chunghwa Telecom. We have the list, our company's list on the NISAT. We are the largest integrated operator in Taiwan. We provide fixed, mobile, and broadband services. Currently, we have more than 11 million mobile subscribers and about 3.6 million broadband subscribers. The penetration rate is about 96%. We're very proud to be the #1 5G telecom in Taiwan in terms of subscribers and revenues. And the awards, just to show you a few. We have award from SGS, CSR Awards, and Information Management Award. And we also got the award from the Smart City last year, I think this is a sustained integration, best system integration of smart city. So you can tell from my topics. So today I'm not tend to give you a lot of technology. So it's more entertainment related. So I hope you can sit back and just relax. So today I'm going to share 5 use cases regarding the 5G cross-domain integrations. Particularly, we like to share that 5G live broadcasting and the harmonized two performers in different places, and they can perform simultaneously. And of course, the immersive experience by using the VR 360 live streaming. And all these 3, we are very grateful for the support from IDB, Smart City Taiwan project, and E3, and to make all this happen possible. Besides of the 3 projects I just mentioned, I would also like to share to you the virtual reality, the virtual concert, and the AR live concert we have conducted just recently. So first is TV live production. I think that the idea is very straightforward. We try to utilize the 5G, just told you, a super high speed and ultra low latency. So when we create a remote camera and along with the 5G router, it's backpacked and it's portable, and also make the video transcoder combined with our 5G routers. So we're streaming the performance live through 5G networks, and we transmit to the production facilities. So people can enjoy I think this has happened in 2019 and 2020 New Year's party, so people can enjoy the show in real time. So the reason why we're doing this is to make the camera man and the operation more flexible, and at the same time we can lower the cost about the networking. And the second case I would like to share is the performance. They are in 2 different places, but we try to make the performance in real time and interactive. So this is a challenge in 3 levels. First is a 5G network, and the transmission and the video production has to be synchronized. And the result has to be no time lag. In order to do that, to put them together, we can realize the performance which integrate 2 places into 1 stage and carry out the performance live to the audience. And what is very important is we use not just 5G in this case. We have to set up MEC, the mobile app edge computing services in this case to make this whole thing possible. So you can see from the left-hand side, the artist played the guitar, and the image was transmitted through 5G MEC, and then project to the holographic display, and the other singer will sing along, so make this more seamless. So this is a news video footage. So let me play it to you.
就算分隔两地也不是问题。金曲奖台语歌后江惠仪和吉他手透过全息影像技术，零距离完美搭档，即时互动，异地共演，成未来影视新焦点。
这个科技应用都可以在这3座影城来。
I think you will probably see this kind of performance more and more in a later time. And next, I would like to talk to you about the 360 live streaming. In the event, 大甲妈祖 program, I think this is one of the most important religious ritual in Taiwan. But due to the COVID pandemic, a lot of people tend not to join in person to avoid the massive gathering and keep the social distance. So we come up with an idea. So for those people who like to participate but cannot join the event in person, we mount the 360 camera on a sedan chair. So it will parade with, through the whole event. And the 360 was live streaming to Taipei, which was 150 miles away from where the parade was held. So in Taipei, the people just put on the VR goggle. They're able to put themselves into that environment and feel the atmosphere like they were in a parade. So I think this is very good use case for 5G combined the VR 360. And to bring the immersive experience to another level, and to apply to the concert, because during the pandemic, a lot of concerts have been canceled. And so we come up with an idea, if we can create a 3D virtual world. And then that can be a stage. That can be a stage for the singer. So the artist can emerge in a virtual world to do their performance. And so the virtual the virtual 3D world we created will be the stage and concert. And the concert that can take place. And I think it would be easier to show the clip. So the concert is live, and the performers can interact with the virtual world. We think there could be become a new form of a concert after the even now and post the pandemic. Now, the last one was more complicated, and which was conducted, I think, less than 2 weeks ago, in the KKBox Music Awards. The idea was we tried to put different media and art and artists in different places, but they can perform simultaneously. So the left-hand side, you can see the visual artist create his art and in a virtual and in a VR environment. He put on a VR goggle and make his painting. And the painting is all about the song he feel, which was performed live on the stage. So the artwork he created was transmitted and projected to the stage and synchronized with the bank, the bank's performance. And at the same time, the image also sent it to production facility, so realized on AR broadcasting, live broadcasting. So put them all together, this is how it looks like. So all the painting was created real time. This artist work and join the band's performance. And finally realized in AR. Yep, and do you like it? So that's all I have today. But to conclude the presentation, I would there were 2 points I'd like to share with everybody. So the first is what we learned from this the vertical the entertainment application during the 5G. We believed there are 3 opportunities we can bring to the industry, entertainment industry. First is for the audience, for the customer, for the unprecedented experience. And the second will be for the production company. We provide them new media for the creation. And the last one is for the venue, for the music council, music center, or the council hall. We try to provide a premium, value-added content through this kind of facility, and hopefully we can generate a new revenue stream for the industry. And finally, I think for the operators, as Chunghwa Telecom, what we learn from here also, as well as in order to boom the 5G, I think operators should start learn from see the 5G from consumers, customers' perspective. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Dr. Kuo, for your excellent presentation on 5G applications for the purposes of entertainment. And the next speaker will be Mr. Will Huang, Business Development Director, Wave-In Communication. The topic of his presentation will be 5G private network for smart factories, the case of Inventec. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Will Huang.
Hi, good day. It's great to meet you all remotely and in this arena. Thanks TCA for organizing this event. My name is Will Huang. On behalf of Waving Communication, I'd like to share with you a case of 5G smart manufacturing. It's a case we built last year in 2020 together with Inventec. And it's sponsored by IDB. It's the world's first fully virtualized Open RAN-based 5G private network. Okay, before we jump in the content, a little about Waving. It's a startup founded in 2014. We have 4 businesses. First one is our in-building coverage solution, aka 5G fiber DAS. And we have the big data analytics platform, which has been used in 3 out of 5 operators in Taiwan. The third one is a 5G system integration at IoT. Many of you must be familiar with this architect. It's Robotics cloud platform. Rakuten is a pioneer of open telecommunication network. Because it's open, so there'll be a lot of players. In here, we have Star as it's an open RAN provider. There is Nokia. There's InnoEye as a system integrator, and Cisco as the 5G core. And what Waving does in Taiwan is that we group another team to build an open telecom network. In our case with Inventec, we have ASOX. It's from Israel. It provides a 5G open RAN. And we have a firm, which is Microsoft's company now. It provides a 5G core. And we Waving, it's like InnoEye for Rakuten. We are the system integrator. We integrate all the system running on the standard x68 servers provided by Inventec. Okay, that's it. It's open network. So except the picture on the left-hand side is a proprietary hardware. It's a radio unit. Except this one, all the other system, including the RAN, the core, everything runs on the standard x68 servers. You can see on the right-hand side, the Samsung servers provides a whole end-to-end network functions. And it's the world's first fully virtualized open RAN-based private network. And why Inventec wants this 5G private network? Let's take a look. It's from smart manufacturing. We have a video in here.
5G features low latency, high mobile speed, and massive machine communications, bringing life to innovations in industrial automation, human-robot collaboration, and manufacturing process control. Inventec has integrated the emerging software virtualization technology and open hardware concept with x86 standardized servers, building the world's first fully virtualized open RAN-based standalone 5G enterprise private network. Whether it's mass production or small batch, 5G network can significantly reduce false alarm rates of auto optical inspection and improve overall production efficiency. Inventec's 5G AI of Things end-to-end solution includes the core and radio access network, as well as the customer premises equipment, and a series of highly scalable multi-access edge computing servers. At AOI stations, high-definition 2 and 3D scanned images are transmitted to AI analysis systems through 5G to identify component misplacement and defects. The analyzed data are feedbacked into re-inspection stations for real-time reviews. As a result, increasing auto inspection accuracy to over 90%, improving SMT first pass yield to over 85%, and reducing reinspection labor force by 50%, significantly upgrading the manufacturing capability.
Okay, it's only excerpt. You can have the full version at the corner. Okay, Inventec had this 5G private network for its smart manufacturing, and specifically in the phase 1, it utilized the 5G private network to improve this AOI plus AI accuracy at its SMT lines. The SMT lines for the circuit boards. Okay, this slide is a little busy. Let's talk about how the Inventec implements his 5G private network for his SMT line. Let's go direct into this side. You know, AOI is not new, has been here for 2 decades. AI is also not new. But without 5G in the past, the AOI's accuracy rate is low, which means the false alarm rate is high. And every line is every SMT line is isolated. That means that if the false alarm rate is high, there will be a lot of boards waiting in inspection stations for operators to check manually, one by one. So the efficiency is low, the labor cost is high. After 5G, all the stations, they transmit their high definition photos taken by the AOI machines. And through the 5G, using its features of high speed and low latency to the cloud AI server to improve the AOI accuracy. So highly improve the AOI accuracy to up to more than 90%. That means that the need for labor to check at an inspection get reduced. The result is that the buzzword here called first yield pass is over 85%, and the cut of labor costs by 50%. This slide echoes Dr. Guo's last slide. In the 5G era, it's not just about 5G. 5G is just infrastructure. It has features, high speed, low latency, and mass connectivity. But only if you can incorporate the other technologies. In our Inventec case, we have the OT technology, and we have to incorporate AI, and even the other technologies. Only you consider all the technology together, you can create the real value and create innovation for customers, which means we need a cross-domain experts to utilize this platform. Okay, this is my last slide. To sum up, we wafer built together with Inventec, sponsored by IDB, to build the world's first free virtualized Open RAN-based 5G private network. And the first phase 1 is for the SMT line, AOI plus AI. Result, the factory efficiency gets up, the labor cost gets down. That's the first phase 1. Then we are planning for the phase 2. Then AGV is in the scope. This is a little about my sharing. Thank you. You can find more information from here. Thank you.
And thank you, Will, for introducing the 5G private network for smart factories. Our next speaker will be Mr. Andy Singh, General Manager of Cortronic Intelligent Robotics Corporation. Mr. Singh will talk about the rise and future of autonomous and unmanned vehicles in 5G smart cities and factories. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Singh.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to join us in this lovely afternoon. I'm the My name is Singh. I'm the president of the CRRC, stands for Cortronic Robotics Corporation. Today I will just share you two of our major products, what we're doing with the 5G. Our major product, one is a drone, smart drone, and everybody like to put a smart on the front, so make your product looks more sharp. So smart drone and the AMR. So I will just share you some information that how we just using and utilize the 5G to make our product more bright. Okay, so these are two sections I'm go through from starting about the drone. First, I have to let you believe that drone is the most popular and the booming business in the world. You may see that some data here is drone actually have a steady yearly growth rate. And more than that, right now, still a little bit the regulation constraint about the drone applied in certain area in the field. But the good news is you may see there are several countries, including like USA, including like Japan, they are more welcomed to make the regulation more clear and loosen up for the regulation and the ban up list. So that means in the near future, I suppose in the year 2022, a lot of regulation will be opened up and the LED drone have more freedom to serve in the world. And the good news, you may see that we put several different area. The good news is Asia actually is the most popular area to develop for the drone because a lot of application, including like agriculture, including like inspection, and a lot of countries in Asia, for example, like China and Japan, we have a very good chance to apply the drone for this different area and the different application. Okay, so back to the 5G. What 5G, how 5G help for the drone? Everybody know that the benefit for the 5G, so I will not repeat about that. I can quickly to let you know what a drone can do for the job. Actually, you can consider for the inspection job, drone is a super surveillance. You can move mobilely in 3D way to show everywhere, to watch anything you want. So the key thing is how you can get a very good quality picture and you can translate the picture and the image efficiently in the real time to pass to any screen that your team, no matter they're using a mobile phone, they're using a plate, they can easily watch that. That is a very important thing. And the good things that we use because of the 5G join the world and the new era come up. So you may see that because of this reason, right now we can use a drone to deliver wirelessly, remotely. You can send the information back to your control room in thousands of miles away immediately. Very low latency and a very quick way to send the things and help you to do the AI recognition. You can use an image to analyze what the information you want. Okay, that is a fabulous thing, and you can use an ultra high definition information to share and the collaboration to do the job. To make finally you can provide the value-added data service. That is the major purpose we want to deliver. Let me make that more specifically. Okay, because of this reason, you may see that the high data ratio, usually we can deliver the real-time image from far away to let you show in the control room. We can only deliver 720p. I know that nobody happy about 720p right now. Everybody wanted a 4K, everybody wanted a 1080p. The good news, 5G joining right now, our drone, he can just to supply their mission and they can deliver you, use a very good 4K upload information to no matter serve in your cloud storage or share the information out. And the low latency, because usually we will have a few seconds delay. So the image you see very far from your mission area, you will see the image maybe delayed for 5, even 10 seconds. But right now, we are talking about the things is low latency, is milliseconds. How they can feel the difference that what you see right now in the screen and what really happened in the destination area. And the last thing is a multi-connection, because the usual way that you can share the information with a very limited connection. But the good thing is that because 5G joining, we can share that no matter in the control room, and also can share for everybody, which will be authorized to join the network, so can quickly receive the information. So this is also popular right now to all our customers. And because of this reason, we can achieve the wireless remote, we can achieve the advanced recognition, and also for HD, Ultra HD solution to everybody. So in short, I think the 5G right now make the whole drone service to the world to the new level in all our technology. Okay, this is the other thing that we're using the structure to show why drone have a different achievement right now. In the right-hand side, you may see this is a traditional way. You may see maybe you buy the DJI drone in a shop, and right now they may be using a radio frequency 2.4 or 5.8G radio frequency. The only one can see is a pilot on his remote. But right now, because the 5G happened, our drone, they can deliver pass by the 4G, LTE, or 5G to pass the information to the cloud, to the fleet management system in the cloud, and the cloud will share the information to all required department. So you can see it in the control room, or you can use in different device to watch the information immediately. And the better way is right now we applied the advanced, the full autonomous solution. Right now, the means is that you don't need to have a real pilot to real time to control the drone. You can schedule the things. You can schedule your drone come out, take off, and fulfill your mission based on the time frame you want, and he can get back and back to the station, recharging by itself. This is something we so-called a full autonomous. The good thing is you don't have any people or any person to stick on the screen and watch out everything. He can record that, he can do the job, and put it in the storage. You can do that, and you get the information any time you want. And this is a lot of technology got involved, but we are happy that we get all things done. So you may see that this is the charging station, so drone can locate it in a very remote area, high mountain, really cold area. You don't need the people to on site to check for that. He can just forward to process the mission by itself. This is what we so defined autonomous things, and we are happy to say that we already achieved this target. This is the whole scenario that how we just do the job. Probably in a control room, one day before you run a mission, you can put down your schedule to the whole control pad. Say tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, you can starting to take off the flight. And you have to move to, and when time's coming, the drone will take off on schedule and just move to the right destination you want. And he will just process the routine mission by your wish. Okay, so you may see that he can take all the picture and the things, and immediately check all things. No matter you want to do the security job, you want to check the facility is safe or not after the typhoon or something, you will get the information you want, and you're going to pass to the cloud by 5G and get all information down. And after that, drone also can dynamically to run different projects. So he can just running for, if he got any kind of duty call to check the front door is any kind of suspicious car, he can check that immediately and also deliver the message to you. Do the real-time job. Again, that is 5G. You need the 5G to do the real-time job. And after that, the pilot will take over. If you need because of the 5G, we can have the command. Anytime your control room people can step in the control, he can take over the job and see that what the mission he want, and send up the command by 5G, and anytime precisely to run the job. After that, he will just precisely auto landing on the station and finish the charging and waiting for next mission. This is what we plan to do. Okay, so more specifically, what kind of service we can have? You may see that this is several applications we already applied to our customers, and happy to know that most of them think that we can do a good job in this section. No matter it's slope land disaster prevention, especially in Taiwan, every Q2 or Q3, there's a typhoon season, heavy rain. So this is also very important. We're working with a lot of government department to help to maintain that and make sure safe traffic may happen, and also have a transportation Right now, we're working with one biggest Japan e-commercial company to do the deliver things. First stage, we deliver the product to the island, to the high mountain area or a remote area. And I believe that very soon we were going to move to the next stage that can deliver things to the urban area or downtown city. So it is not kind of imagination or kind of a fancy talk, but you have a very good chance that can receive your things, your food or your product, not only by the Food Panda or kind of Uber Eats. You can receive that from drone. The third thing is the tower inspection. This is also good for the inspection for the facility. And also we can see that for the kind of landform migration, this is also a kind of a disaster may happen. We can do the prevention. And the oil pollution, we can use in a spectrum detector to check that. This is what we do for the Kaohsiung Harbor, because a lot of the ship were going to have send out the kind of oil on the water. That is a serious heavy pollution may happen, but we are help them and successfully can just detect the pollution area and how the things to do. They will take over that. So this is a continued project we are doing. And also bridge check. This is also a very popular inspection that we should receive the requirement. Okay, so here I just show you that what we're really working with. We are very happy that last year, the Taiwan first starting for the 5G. We're working with the Chunghwa Telecom and to put the TELUS 5G module inside and show that no latency and the full 4K image in front to our president. This is something that we are proud to say that we successfully make the job done. And let me see. And next thing is we also working with the, working with the IDB for a smart city project. You may see that we're using the picture for like a Mudan Dam. This is located in south of Taiwan, so we can check that any kind of disaster happen and build up the modeling and send all the historical information share on that. They can watch closely to measure about it. And this is a Dawu fishing port in the Taitung. So the thing is, you may see this is a port. So this is the inlet of the ship. So usually the ship will go here, but the best thing is that the silt will happen and create in this area every year. So they have to do the job to remove the silt and see that. And we can use in a drone to watch that and define when the silt had come out and what is the size we have to be removed. So they have a precisely job planning in advance. So this is also a successful project we're doing for a smart city. Okay. So above is about the drone. So I quickly share with you that. And if you got any kind of a new information share with me, we're happy to talk with you after the meeting. And then the next stage, you are talking about AMR. AMR actually have a 3 stage. The early stage is what is so-called AMR, using the kind of physical way to lead for the drone. So you may see that they put a kind of tape, they use a trail on the ground and to lead for that. This is the old type way, is like a first stage. And the second stage, you use the optical way. You use input a kind of a barcode or something to remind the machine, say, hey, you have to take a turn right now in this corner. And this is the first stage. We're happy to say that right now what we apply is the LiDAR SLAM. LiDAR SLAM can, firstly, you have to show, to put the 3D modeling things based on the AMR and put the whole modeling into the computer inside by 5G for the kind of a private 5G system for the manufacturing site. And once you record that, and when you wake up the drone, the AMR, he can easily to identify the position and get the job done. Okay, everybody can see that this is exactly what we're doing for the several factory. This is we're doing for the one of the this is iron factory that he sent all the things. You may see he can doing not only indoors but outdoors. He can just smoothly run in that, no hesitate and no check, and he's very quickly to do that. And the other thing is a kind of a, this is a mobile transportation car. So again, no trail, no kind of a secondary identification. He can easily find a way to parking and get the thing down. We are happy with working with several major factory and logistics center and apply the system right now. Okay. So it is a very, very smooth move. You can see that in this whole video. And also we're doing for a lot of things because of the 5G join. We can send the information, build up more, and send it to the central control center to do the job. You may see that you can just not only the traditional pallet you see, you can using for special this kind of a cage can stack it precisely, okay, full automatically. And also a lot of things, no matter you put it at the right position or not, he can just adjust it by himself. Okay. 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 I think I got the limited time, so I have to cut it right now. But you may see that he can just check any kind of obstacle things in a position. He'll stop and waiting for you remove all the obstacle and continue the job. Okay, so even this pallet, you can see that not on the right position. He can also doing the job by camera and the 3D LiDAR to get the thing down. Okay. This is the free measurement things. I don't know why this picture cannot working properly, but anyhow, we just show you that we have the mission planning things also by the control center using the private 5G to do the job, can running for all details, and maybe like a 20 20 AMR and running for like a 5 or 10 field at the same time. He will just everybody can locate the machine and set up priority by himself. Okay, so I just quickly to say that I think the 5G gives us a lot of a good potential to see that in the future, no matter it is a drone or AMR, and we are happy to working with all things. The good thing is that we're working with the KT, not only in Yuanshan and also for the Chunghwa Telecom, and we also have a strategic lead with the KDDI, LGU Plus in the worldwide, and I continuously receive the requirement from a different country. I think the 5G is a very good supporting device and also a very good solution for us to provide for the next stage, the Smart City 2.0 or the Smart Factory and the Smart Logistic. Again, thank you for your time and your attention. This is Andy Singh, and I hope that you can give me any input after the meeting. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Mr. Singh, for introducing autonomous drones and mobile robots and their uses and applications in 5G-enabled smart cities and factories. Coming up next will be Jerry Wang. He's the Senior Manager at International Integrated Systems, Inc. His presentation will focus on 5G, smart logistics, and MR applications in smart factories. So please welcome Mr. Wang.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to the friends in Europe. I noticed that we have a schedule delayed for the meeting, so in the next session, we would like to use the 5G speed for the presentation. Okay, so today I would like to introduce the experience for us in the 5G logistic and the MR applications in the semiconductor industries. This is a program under the Taiwan Smart City Taiwan R&D program, as mentioned in the beginning. So the story starts actually from the semiconductor industry. I think everyone knows the importance of semiconductor industry in Taiwan. The production value reaches 3 trillion in Taiwan, NT dollars, and also 20% up than 2019, and also 15% of the GDP. So it's really important. So how to ensure the competitiveness of the semiconductor industry is also important, not only for business or enterprises, but not only for industries, but also for the governments. So the story is that to enhance the competitiveness in the semiconductor industry, so the pioneer Seagard and ISI company cooperate for this project to utilize some new technology such as 5G network, MR, edge computing, and others into the manufacturing to enhance the efficiency, lower the cycle time to ensure the competitiveness. So this is the story start. And to have a brief understanding for you faster, I would like to use the video for introduction.
及 COVID-19 全球疫情的冲击，导入智慧制造是企业追求数位转型不得不的必要手段，包括5G 专网、AR、MR、物联网、远端操作、大数据、人工智慧等技术的发展，都是企业导入智慧制造不可或缺的工具。然而，根据数据统计，台湾制造业高达90%的公司企业面对智慧制造的观念与需求，其专业度仍然不足，导入效益不彰。
对于许多产业来讲，面对网络时代的趋势，都清楚知道要有数位转型的准备。但数位转型并不是只是将工厂的设备自动化或导入 ERP 的资讯系统作业，而是必须将 IT、OT、DT 3个构面的发展结合 AIoT 物联网、5G、Big Data 的技术来做资讯跟数据的收集，并借由数据的分析与预测，来达到精准制造的最终目标。
资拓宏宇秉持一贯的创新精神与诚信态度，为客户服务，持续研发创新产品，并结合合作伙伴，提供全球客户具竞争力的智慧化解决方案及服务。2020年，资拓宏宇与细格在5G 应用专案的前瞻合作，为5G 在智慧制造领域的应用奠定了良好的发展基础。
这次细格跟资拓宏宇的合作，主要是针对近来半导体封测厂制程上停工待料跟缺空这些问题，在建制5G 专网的网络架构下，成功的整合边缘预算 MEC 还有资料分析的技术，完成现场管系统的借接，还有机台、供料、MR 及其资讯平台，还有 AGV 物流系统建制这些工作，来彻底解决制程上的问题。
资拓宏宇是资通讯的标杆公司，亦是经济部工业局技术能量登录子公司，在市场上已经累积超过30年的经验，在系统建制、软体开发的实力上，遍布各个领域。资讯科技日新月异，变化快速。5G 通讯在智慧制造的应用上，除了需要了解制造业的 domain know-how 外，更是需要高度整合 IT 与 CT 专业技术的高门槛工程。我们认为资拓宏宇公司具备这样的专业跟能力。
资拓宏
Okay, because of the time limitations, I'll skip the rest of the video and introduce the story of this case, this project. So the two players, one is Seagard. Seagard is the professional wafer packaging and testing assembly company house in Taiwan. And the other one, with the 6th factory and is a Taiwan stock exchange listed company since 2003. And the other one is the IT professional company, ISI, that's where I'm from, with the capital 1 billion, 1,000 people, and currently, actually, we are the subsidiary of Chunghwa Telecom by acquisition. And we have the information security certification to provide our professional services. So these two players cooperate to solve the problem in the semiconductor fields. But what are the challenges and the problems we want to solve? The first one is the situation in the semiconductor industry is, first one, lack of labor or workforce. Because Taiwan now is an aging society, so less and less children in the market. So we need to use some technology to support some kind of works, especially the labor-based work. And the second, in the industry, the small volume and the large variety products becomes more normal now. And it results the higher complexity for the arrangement, for the resources, schedule, and everything. So how to optimize that or harmonize the process will be the key issue for for the company, for the enterprises. And also the information security now it matters, right? Recently we have a news, right, for the high-tech company. Okay, so what do we expect? We know the challenge and how to use the technology to solve the problem. The key issue or the key indicator we call cycle time. Cycle time is the key indicators in the industry. And also the company want to enhance or improve the machine or equipment usage time because it means they can earn more money. Okay, so cycle time means more money because if you can deliver the order faster, the customer may give more money. So we want to do that when we start from the shorten the material logistic and the fitting time, reduce the maintenance and the management time, and also increase the usage of the equipments. This is our targets to do. And how do? We know the problem and the issues, then we start to choose the suitable and the right technologies for that. The first one we choose is the AGV, Automated Guided Vehicle. So I think it's straightforward to understand, right? The machine can deliver the material so they can save the time for everything, so everyone. And the second, the AMR mixed reality to give the simple and straightforward UI for management and maintenance. I think you can understand from the video, the managers can remotely use the MR to control or to make command on the machine. And the third one, to use the data analysis to arrange or to optimize the scheduling and also the resources. And those technologies or applications are based on 5G network and edge computing. You may ask the question, why? Why 5G network? Why not Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is okay, right? But why? Okay, there are some reasons for the scenario we adopt the 5G network. The first reason is to avoid the radio interference because cigarette, their major product is the IF product. So we don't want to have the interference. So we use the millimeter wave to avoid the interference, to have the segment. And the second, of course, the faster speed. We don't want the late or delayed information for the production. And second, edge computing, because most of the application, if we use the cloud, then the information security might be or private or confidential will be the key issue. So we use the edge computing to keep the data inside the factory and also can respond faster. So this is the reason we choose the technology to use. And what's the results? I think you already see the scenario, right? You already saw the scenario in the videos. So they change the shipping by AGV. They do the management by MR, so they can remotely, without logging to the every system, and they make a command. And also, based on the data analysis, they can optimize the scheduling and the resources. So those are the outputs or results for the project. And the impact or the performance to the industry, actually, for short, I would say 15% increase for the productivity. It seems good, right? As a pilot project, actually, this is a very good results and encourage people to do the next step investments. And the benefit for this project is not only for the enterprise, not only for the company, but also for the industry, because the industry has verified the application, the technology can be used, and it's a feasible application and scenario. Second, for the government, they promote the R&D program, they also get some feedback from them. So this is a win-win strategy, actually, for enterprise, industries, and also governments. Okay, the key success factor. It seems like things goes easily, right? But we don't take the success as take it as granted, because the right person, right tools, and the right execution are important in every project. The right person means we need the domain know-how for the semiconductor industry, and also the professionals in ICT technology. So SIGGR and ISI has a good combination for that. And the right tools, I like this principle that the customer needs solutions, but not the technologies. If we just introduce 5G network, AGV, but you cannot solve the problem for that customer, that's meaningless, there's no value. So I think this is also mentioned by Will in the previous sections. So how to adopt the right technology into right scenario is important. That's the experience. And the right execution, the partnership between government, enterprise, and IT fields. So that's a win-win-win strategy. And this is the first step for us to introduce the technology into the industry, but not the last one. For the future, the smart manufacturing divisions, we want to have a connected, optimized, transparent, proactive, and agile production line in the industry. Then it can help the industry move faster and move further. Okay, so keep marching for success. And thanks for your attention. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Jerry Wang, for joining us this afternoon. And ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a brief break. We will break for about 5 minutes. The time now is 3:45. Please come back at 3:50. Once again, we'll break for 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, and online viewers from around the world, welcome back to the conference. We hope you had enjoyed your break and the opportunity to network. The program will now resume. Our next speaker is Mr. Kurt Schlager, Head of Network Evolution, A1 Telecom Austria Group. In his role in A1 Telecom Austria Group, Kurt is responsible for the evolution from strategic and architectural point of view within the access, transport, and core domains of A1's fixed and mobile networks. During his presentation today, he will introduce the 5G development of Telecom Austria Group in Central and Eastern Europe. So please welcome Mr. Kurt Schlager.
Hello and good morning. From my side, good morning. For your side, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me well. Today I'm going to introduce to you the 5G developments in Central and Eastern Europe, and we'll give you a bit of a glance first of what the Telecom Austria Group is. I hope you can see my slide because with me it takes a while to load. We are one of the leading telecom operators and service providers in Central and Eastern Europe, and our majority shareholder is actually América Móvil, South American telecom giant, and the Austrian state. Currently, we serve about 25 million customers in 7 markets, which you can see here, spanning from Germany down to Bulgaria and Serbia. We have a dedicated company, A1 Digital, which focuses clearly on the enabling of digital transformation as well in markets of Switzerland and Germany here. And we are headquartered in Austria. We have about 60% revenue to EBITDA share on the current status. We make a turnover of or revenue turnover of about 4.5 billion per year, with an EBITDA of 1.5 million, and have currently 18,000 employees on our payroll. 5G for us is a very key component, and while for me the slide takes time to load, I would like to show you what is the current status of our networks, of our developments. So first of all, in Austria, we are live already. We have launched 5G. We have acquired on the 3,500 megahertz frequency band. We have 1,500 as a supporting downlink, and we are also distributing on the mid band on 2,100 megahertz 5G. We have not acquired a low band, and neither is a millimeter wave currently being optioned. So this is what we're looking forward. In Belarus, we are currently on a trial with the 3,500 megahertz. Here we expect the low band, the 700 megahertz, but also 3,500 megahertz this year, actually. Bulgaria and Croatia as well. We are on trial networks, on trial with the 3,500 megahertz frequency, and are looking forward actually of those frequencies and the awards subsequently this year. There are 2 markets which lag a bit behind in our footprint, which is Serbia and Macedonia. Those auctions will take place either at the end of this year or at the next year, at the beginning of the next year. And in Slovenia, we are actually looking forward to the first acquisition of the millimeter wave on the 22 gigahertz spectrum, but also on the 3,500 megahertz and the 700 megahertz spectrum. So one country being live currently, and we're getting the first experiences there, whereas on the others, we're currently very much trialing. For us, 5G is the basis for a wealth of ecosystems and new use cases actually coming along those. And that spans from gaming over the automation of smart factories. We've seen before drone management and the flights, which are very much a key focus of us. not to speak about the Clear, which is still a key part of the development of the rural areas, which the governments in our footprint are very much looking forward to. But then we're also going into adjacent markets with smart grid management, but also with ultra high density video streaming for our clients here. So 5G and the current acquisition will enable that. And what I will show you today are some use cases which we have live already. The first ones are very much centered on campus networks. This is a key, let me say, demand from our customers, from our industrial B2B customers in our footprint, enabling smart factories, basically, keeping low latency networks on that ground, but also have dedicated networks. And on the other hand, we are also trialing, and I will show you in detail, some slicing for our train customers in Austria. The first deep dive I would like to give you is the airport of Vienna. We have basically put a dedicated campus networks there. On the one hand, the airport wanted to have a very secure network for their employees, reliable connectivity, and connectivity to the planes. The existing Wi-Fi solution which the airport put in place was not having correct coverage and as well reliability. So they were looking for us as a partner to enable those communications on the one side in a public slice for the citizens, for the travelers of the airport, which would have a increased quality, increased throughput. And on the other hand, let me say, separated slice, a private slice for the Vienna airport agents, actually. That was enabled through installation of our infrastructure on light poles. We had very targeted traffic management, actually, on that airport now. The differentiation between those private and public networks for the travelers on the one hand was really enabling the let me say, dedicated bandwidth to the workers. So the mission critical services were actually supported by that one and assured by the private slice. It delivered clear benefit in terms of speed, latency, and reliability. But on the other hand, as I said before, the travelers itself on that airport, on the Vienna airport now, can experience a higher throughput, which 5G enables, of course, as well. One of the key points here was for the airport to have security requirements fulfilled. So all the data are stored on a dedicated edge, on the dedicated edge network, on a dedicated core, actually, we have put there for that. While my next slide takes a bit to load for me, at least here. Sorry, now I have a bit of a lag on the slides. Yeah, the next one I would like to show you, at least now it shows for me, is very, let me say, an early stage of a true 4G and 5G slice we put in service. So this is a dynamic slice we have established all across Austria, a network slice which can provide resources between the 4G network and the 5G network. That is currently built together with Nokia, our main network partner here, but also for the Austrian Railways, so for the ÖBB. And that fulfills primarily 3 use cases. The first one is the train conductor connectivity. So here we are connecting the driver of the train itself, feeding him with continuous data streams, visualizing signals early so that the security and the operability of the train can be improved. The second one is the localization of trends. So we have a high accuracy of the localization where the train is actually, and with that we can actually support the switching systems of the lanes are routed securely on the one hand, but on the other hand also supported with the data center applications of the Austrian railway and have a reliable service through that on their tracks. And as I said, this slice is actually dynamically established. One of the city partnerships we have built is actually, again, in Vienna, serving augmented reality. We have put a couple of 5G powered hotspots around Vienna. And now, unfortunately, during the COVID times, the touristic services are not so present. However, once the pandemic is past, we will see again the augmented reality services being alive in Vienna. It gives us interactive multimedia. As you can see, we have built together with Asumi, our partner here, entertainment, especially for younger tourists, for kids actually in place. And that brings actually learning to life. It is supporting the society in a way that this immersive augmented reality experience and the, let me say, history experience of Vienna is brought together and the learning experience is increased. How do we foster or try to build an ecosystem around by having built 5G playgrounds, as we call it? We, on the one hand, enable, this is a test bed actually, where we are inviting innovative companies to test use cases, to test their use cases. We have built local outdoor base stations as well as indoor base stations. On the indoor side, we're testing the robotics. On the other hand, we also have a dedicated drone flight hall. So here, drone management, ultra HD surveillance of the drones are being tested, both on the uplink as well as on the downlink. So we had to modify actually the uplink mask, the 5 high throughput demanded by that. Testing those this 5G, let me say, ecosystem there, inviting and building together with new and innovative companies use cases around the 5G network, and have built basically this playground in order to open up for the industry and for the researchers as well. Automation here is of course key, because this is very much priority currently in the industry. How is that built? A bit technical. First of all, it is all about making our network consumable. So we have established a service portal, which is generating on-demand bandwidth for the customer. It is having a service API framework where external developers, other communication service providers, R&Ds or businesses can connect to. From the telco stack point of view, we have, first of all, as I said, this dynamic bandwidth allocation to serve our customers or testers. We have a 5G ready VPC established exactly for this, and it was very much important for us to test a startup actually here, which is Kaloom. Architecture which enables that network slicing, cloud native, containerized, which is all the, let me say, from a network point of view, the big promise of the 5G is put live here. And of course, we also have used our own cloud, which is Exascale, part of A1 Digital, to establish the cloud, or to host the cloudified containerized core, but as well establish the edge cloud, an edge data center there to test those low latency services, where we can also push out dedicated core functions and enable those high speed 5G services which the customers are looking for. While for me, the next slide again takes a bit to load. I would also like to switch now to another country, which is Slovenia. Now my slide was gone. Sorry. Bit of a slight mess up here. With Slovenia, in the city of Koper, we established a dedicated partnership with the city. What did we put in place there? On one hand, we have video surveillance that enables object analysis services for smart traffics, also to enable the citizens of the city of Koper, for example, with services like free parking places, availability of those for their cars. On the other hand, we support environmental monitoring through gathering data from various sensors on our base stations and putting that into an analytics platform. We also monitor or support the waste management by having smart sensors installed in those trash cans so that the local waste management company can actually take away the trash on demand, or let's say when it's needed and doesn't have to, and can optimize the routes they are establishing to deport the waste. And on the other hand, also we are enabling smart city lighting with sensors and hubs, so that on the one side the light is, let's say, turned on dynamically based on the time and the lighting conditions, but also based on presence when actually those street lights are indeed needed throughout the night or throughout the day. So in a summary, and this is already wrapping up my presentation, 5G for me is very much the enabler of smart land and city services, so agriculture, but also, let me say, society services. What we see here, at least in our footprint in Central Eastern Europe, this ecosystem needs to be enabled. It's still shaping up. And we're very much inviting actually players to chip in, to join our ecosystem, to develop together with us new use cases where 5G is the basis for it, which can enable these quality-based services for our customers. And again, while we are at the very early stage in our footprint, we're very much at the bleeding edge, I would say, in order to look forward to launching in our other markets. It was interesting for you, giving you that small glance of the Telekom Austria Group and our 5G developments in that country and that across our footprint. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Schlager, for your talk on A1, Telekom Austria's 5G development plans in Europe. And our next speaker will be Dr. Mike Short, Chief Scientific Advisor, Department for International Trade, UK. Dr. Short, after 30 years in telecommunications with Telefonica, joined the Department for International Trade as the department's Chief Scientific Advisor in December 2017. He currently leads the science and engineering profession in the department and ensures its policy is informed by the best science, engineering, and technical advice. The topic of his presentation today is Towards a 5G Smart City Future. Without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Mike Short.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're following this presentation. I'm sorry I cannot be with you in Taipei today, but it's a great pleasure to be invited to speak. Next slide, please. In terms of smart cities, we look at these in a federated way, clearly with the citizen at the center of all of these. But we can see many applications. And as with the previous speaker, a lot of the key applications depend on infrastructure, such as 5G or the Internet of Things, but they also depend very heavily on issues such as the availability of data, because data is a key resource when it comes to innovating in this space. But any city has to run with the best data and the best governance and offer the best transport and mobility services, the best health and wellness services, the best energy, all in mind with resilience. Clearly, issues around smart buildings and housing helps that, because gathering the data can be done from the building or the house or the broader environment. But at the end of the day, a smart city is made up of many subsystems which depend very heavily on the infrastructure and the data. Next slide, please. When we think about the key enablers for, next slide, please. When we think about the key enablers for a smart city, clearly planning and governance are at the heart, but also issues around security and access to data will be key drivers for many applications. The previous speaker has referred to tourism. Next slide, please. Tourism is clearly very important for the visitors to a city, and we did some trials in the west of England some 3 years ago when we brought together different companies to think about how do we support visitors from a visitor attraction or education perspective? How do we support the tourism providers? Some of the creative and high-tech sectors where virtual reality and mixed reality can play a part. But also, how do we blend together some of the underpinning network and service provision? And just a snapshot of some of the companies in the west of England that were involved with that. This major trial in the west of England is one of 36 5G trials we've done over the last 3 to 4 years to really underpin the ecosystem for many sectors. Next slide, please. When it comes to energy, energy has to be monitored and measured to suit every city. We're very pleased that we've got a very strong ecosystem in the UK, and indeed something called COP26 taking place, a worldwide summit taking place in Glasgow in November this year. But that's to support issues to do with energy and climate change. And when it comes to energy, it's quite important to look at the sources of energy, whether it's offshore wind and other renewables, whether it's the carbon capture and storage, whether it's the distribution of energy from low carbon heat solutions or biomass or nuclear, or whether it's to support the energy required for transport, such as electric vehicles and modern forms of public transport. We've done some major trials with connected and autonomous vehicles in the UK, and that's also been looking at some of the energy issues with connectivity in mind. A lot of the measurement and management of energy will depend on connectivity. So the role of 5G in this area is adding in, and can add in, further resilience. Next slide, please. Some of the trials we've done in terms of mobility have been supporting things like driverless vehicles and driverless public transport. We had a major trial in somewhere called Milton Keynes, which looked at the grid in the city or town of Milton Keynes to make sure that the management of driverless vehicles worked well. We also had some major trials 3 years ago in somewhere called Millbrook, which actually gave us lots of lessons for the crossover between telecommunications of 5G and automotive. This was very helpful for the car industry and the bus industry as much as the telecoms industry. It allowed us to trial higher frequencies as well as to look at vehicles at speed over 200 kilometers per hour. You can only do that on a test track that's properly organized, and we're very pleased to have been a pioneer in that area some 3 years ago. What we can see is a much broader world of personalized transport, and we can see Taiwan following a similar course. Next slide, please. It's also very important to look at the end-to-end security, and the UK is very strong in areas such as cybersecurity with companies like Darktrace, online identity management with companies like Yoti, but also areas of safety tech with companies like CRISP and SafeToNet. We've got a safety tech directory, should that be of interest. But really, as we know, last century saw the two biggest inventions of mobile and the internet, which have now come together through smartphones. So it's very important to take a systems level view of security from a mobile internet perspective. And this is never more important than in the growing interest that we see with the internet. One interesting company also shown on this slide is a company called IrisGuard that uses forensics and in particular eye or iris recognition. And it's used today to help refugees from the dreadful crisis in Syria. Some of those refugees have fled to places like Iraq and other places, often losing their paperwork. And it's IrisGuard and iris recognition that is helping to give them access to cash and pharmaceuticals and education. When we think about it from a very practical or personal point, security is vital to all of us in society, not just refugees, and no more so than in a smart city. A smart city is not really secure unless it has identity at the heart. But there are many companies from the UK who are involved in that. Next slide, please. We also look at smart cities from a health point of view, because actually more and more of our cities are sensing cities, an area where Taiwan has some real strength. We're living in a world where we can see 1 trillion sensors globally, worldwide. And as these connect more and more to the internet, we can see the collection of more and more data, which may help us deliver a better environment. Sensors we're seeing increasingly moving into the health sphere with wearables, whether it's on the wrist or other parts of the body. Those sensors really have to be powered by ever-increasing chip technology. One company such as Graphcore, for example, is making really powerful chips from the UK with regard to improving the access to health data and X-ray data. They also have other faster processors for other purposes. Companies such as VST Enterprises, who have the COVID Pass, are helping to look at issues like health wallets. And when we think about the need for vaccine passports in this dreadful pandemic, you can see the importance of health wallets and identity. And thirdly, another UK company called CardMedic is helping with flashcards, both physical and digital, to help inform patients of their condition and their progress. Again, sensing in a health journey is about prevention as well as cure. But in a city, we need to think about health sensing from the environment, but also for the person much more fully. Next slide, please. And as we pull all these innovations together with UK companies and international collaboration in mind, we've chosen to develop a Smart Cities directory that's available for the whole audience from our local staff in DIT. It shows over 170 UK companies that are involved in smart cities development in all the subsystems that are necessary for a smart city. We intend to produce this annually with the next edition in January next year. We're supporting that with other more localized for Asia smart city handbooks, the how-to-do guides, and we've already got in train ones for Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia. We also are supporting this with a technology export academy to help some of our UK companies explain and convey and collaborate ideas. Some of it has to be backed up by international finance or intellectual property, but also backed up by the right banking, legal, and necessary marketing measures. We also have a digital health directory, which we can make available, showing the first 100 UK digital health companies, as well as a safety tech directory. Should those directories be of interest, please ask my local DIT colleagues for copies. Next slide, please. So as we see, smart cities are a very important market where 5G has some key enablers, but Taiwan has a very important role to play in this area, from both the regulation of 5G in Taiwan, from making sure that some of the connectivity is right across the city as well as the rural areas. We also can see that there are more and more international collaboration solutions. We've had some recent contracts for energy companies from the UK, such as CJAX and Trelleborg, which have been supported by the UK government into Taiwan. But this really requires a much greater notion of collaboration. We also see that Asia is leading the way with 5G globally. And as we can see today, there are around 350 million customers globally using 5G. but over 85% of those are in Asia already. So we need to learn from each other, whether it's from Asia to Europe or Europe to Asia. Both are equally applicable, but we stand ready from the UK to try and help Taiwan and smart cities develop to be fit for the 21st century. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Short, for joining the 2021 World Telecom Smart City Conference. The next speaker will be Mr. Pavel Shilev, Integration Office Director, PJSC, Rostelecom, Russia. Mr. Shilev has participated in more than 50 complex digital transformation projects. His areas of expertise include smart city, transportation, security and safety, CCTV platforms, ecology, and energy efficiency. His presentation today will focus on smart cities and digital regions. Please welcome Mr. Shilev.
Thank you for introduction. First of all, thank you for an invitation to this conference. I would like to see you in person, maybe next year. So today I'll talk about how we create digital cities, and thank God smart cities in Russia, how we build it like telecom operator, and the way and the path telecom operator to IT integrator. So a few words about our company. We are a public joint stock company with around 5 billion USD market capitalization. And here there are some international stock exchanges where you can buy stocks and bonds, I guess, before my great report. Our path from telephone carrier, I guess we can call it not a telephone carrier, but from transportation company, actually, logistics and something when cargo is bytes and megabytes. And as you can see now in 2020, no, it's 2021, but in 2020, we have only 16% by traditional telephony in our revenue. So it was a long path, but I'll tell you about smart city and digital regions. And here there are some trends. Actually, it's artificial intelligence, digital twins, 5G, and coherent technology solutions. And one of the most trends, I guess we call it stop word here, it's ecosystems, because everyone just telling about ecosystems. But I will tell you about how we create these ecosystems and platforms since 2012, I guess. So, little references and big projects. We are building up a digital Russia. And I guess CCTV cameras is most important projects right here in Russia in more than 12 regions. We're using only one platform and more than 300,000 cameras with video analytics here. So energy saving for Russia is actual too. So we are using Internet of Things and IT products to improve this field. Safety first, and from 16 to 40 minutes, emergency response time reductions, we build it in different regions. I'll tell you about this. And actually COVID-19, actually we used and CCTV platforms and other IT products. So here there are three, I guess, main product lines. It's ecosystem with more than 20 products, like a mono products, and three product lines. So first of all is safety and its security improvement line. In 2014, the first project was started emergency call handling. It's 911 and 112. And after that, it becomes a safe city ecosystem with intellectual video surveillance and public emergency warning systems and monitoring systems. And I guess it's an older platform, but it's great working. So second is manageability improvement solutions. And I guess it's much more about intelligent transportation systems right now here in Russia, and household solid waste management. We are having a big reform here about this waste management in Russia, and IT solutions are pretty fit about this. And the third, it's my favorite, it's comfortable urban environment. And I guess it's the place where citizens, like Dr. Short said before, smart citizens, yep, they touch these interfaces and smart solutions and digital regions. I guess we can tell you about 3 different layers of digital cities. First of all, if it's infrastructure. Second is database and data. Third is software, and fourth is interfaces. So I'll tell you about these interfaces later right now. So it's one of our project in Nizhny Novgorod city here in Russia. We put some smart bus stops in city using our investments, and put some mono products online. And we have revenue and profits from advertising and B2B market, and put some services to government and citizens. And as you can see, more than 10 products we are using in this project. So we trying to reuse our infrastructure to minimize capex in one product. About future, yeah, we guess that 5G is one of the trends of smart city and digital regions, and I guess it will be most important in different spheres, like intelligent video analytics too, smart grids, and actually tourist services, like previous speakers told us before. Energy savings in intelligent lighting systems will be really great and fits in 5G. So, as IT integrator, we're ready to share expertise and looking for international opportunities, and we see some stages. We can make IT audit and consulting. We can make concepts and frameworks development. And at this third stage, the implementation of our best practices. So our project, Digital Region, with more than I guess now it's 25 products in 3 main product lines, now nominated in United Nations WSIS prizes in e-environment nomination. We're in final, so here there is a QR code, so please vote. It's very important for us. And I guess with this strategy to put different mono products in one ecosystems using APIs and same database, it's the way how we can implement smart our smart, not smart cities, but smart products into cities with no money actually, because we have cities with low budget, not in Moscow actually, but they need to have this infrastructure and software and hardware too. So, and the paramount goal of our project is to eliminate the digital inequality of regions using technologies and software, and put these mono products into regions to improve economic and social development too. So please be welcome to vote our project. We try to achieve United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and I guess it's 5 with this project. It's about investments and about complex digitalization, making a good health and well-being, and energy consumption too. So you can see all of them via this QR code. I can tell you more about our projects. I will put this on the presentation. I think it will be next 10 slides. I don't have a lot of time. I will tell you about our project portfolio. It's very wide. So give me a second. It's a very big presentation actually. Okay, I'll try to explain how our platform and ecosystems works. We can put different mono products. We're making SPVs and M&As here in Russia to put these mono products on market. And after that, we're making the same IT architecture of all these products with hardware, and we can put them step by step on market. I guess it's the one way to put this on market because IT and software and hardware is pretty high cost actually. But if you can put this step by step with energy efficiency, with profits, it could work. So that's how we do business with IT in digital cities in Russia. So thank you, and I can ask you questions. Thank you.
And thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Shilov. And the next item on today's agenda will be the panel discussion. During the panel, telecom operators, scholars, and industry professionals will discuss topics such as creating win-win solutions for partnerships between city governments and telecom operators, and accelerating 5G development by creating interactive relations between city governments and telecom operators. So ladies and gentlemen, joining the panel discussion today will be Dr. Joseph Y.C. Kuo, Managing Director, Digital Products Department, Mobile Business Group, Chunghwa Telecom. Let us welcome him and ask him to go on stage and take a seat. Can we welcome him with a warm round of applause, please? Welcome, Dr. Kuo. And we would also like to welcome the three panelists who are joining us online, Mr. Kurt Schlager, Dr. Mike Short, as well as Mr. Pavel Shilov. The panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Jun-Ting Cho, Associate Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering, National Taiwan University. So now I will turn the program over to Dr. Cho.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. I think it's our great honor to have all of you in this great seminar and panel discussion. Before I start our panel discussion, first of all, I would like to thank all of the speakers, including Mike, Kurt, Pavel, and Joseph, for their great sharing and presentation. And today, we are here for the smart city and management using 5G networks. And this is a great opportunity for all of us, not just for the government, for the telecom operator, and also for all of the citizens. But with the opportunity, we have all different kinds of challenges as well. So here I would like to pop up a few questions so that our panelists can share their experience with us. The first one I would like to ask is, although I am a professor from National Taiwan University, I'm also an entrepreneur of a startup company. And one question that I was asked very frequently, I'm still being asked frequently is, do we really need 5G for smart city? And this is a very big question because from the point of view of city government and also operators, there is a lot of investment involved to adopt a new generation of wireless networks. So the first questions that I will be asked and have been asked many times is, do we really need that? Therefore, I would like to see what our panelists think about these issues and how they could either convince or justify the necessity of 5G in smart city applications. So maybe we should start with Joseph here, especially his presentation about entertainment and its related applications in smart city. Joseph.
Thank you. This is a very broad question. Yes, we've been asked the same question very often. Do we really need 5G, especially in a smart city? I think we have to say yes. Because from the smart city, the project we're doing right now, for example, the autonomous driving, smart transportation, and like the earlier section, this one present the one company, we have a joint program with them as a drone surveillance, and of course, I think just Mike mentioned or Kurt in the high-speed rail. In this this kind of case, we do need a 5G's high speed and low latency in order to fulfill the needs for the autonomous driving. And we for example, we apply the CV2X, so it has to be built on top of the 5G network. And the smart factory, especially the AGVM, AMR, and we have to, they're constantly moving. And so we be able to track them and control them. We have to have a very reliable 5G. I mean, just make a few examples. So, but it's every smart city project really need 5G. Maybe some of them is not that related. Have to be relied on 5G. For example, the smart lamp pole, and some smart meter. They have their own network and power rating. So that's what been challenging why 5G for them. So that's what my personal opinion. So thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Guo. Kurt, you mentioned in your presentation that AI Telecom is building their private campus network for airport and railroad applications. In such kind of closed environment, what would be your take about Wi-Fi 6 versus 5G, and what will be your answers to those questions? We would like to hear about your experience and for that. Kurt?
Sorry, I'm having a very bad audio. Can you repeat, please?
Okay, you mentioned earlier in your presentation, A1 Telecom is building private network, campus network for airport and railroad applications. I would imagine that in such kind of a closed network, people may think of using Wi-Fi 6 in such kind of closed environment. What would be your take on this?
Yes. So first of all, I think there should be no distinction between Wi-Fi 6 or 5G. We're very much looking forward to incorporate the Wi-Fi experience as well into our networks through the interfaces available on the unmanaged, untrusted access, actually. But what we have seen in our tests is that a dedicated spectrum, a dedicated non-polluted, let me say, spectrum is vital for the reliability of services. And as such, Wi-Fi 6 can be complementary to our 5G services, but not be replaced by them in a way. So we have seen in the tests once more on our deployments on those dedicated networks that private slices, private dedicated networks, which are demanding high reliability, low latency, maximum throughput, and actually the KPIs which 5G can deliver is key for our customers. And hence we are more, let me say, relying on these key characteristics of 5G and are integrating, let's say, the benefits of the Wi-Fi world. So in order to have this coexistence actually, or enable this coexistence, rather than betting on the one or the other. As I said, 5G for us.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's not that we have to pick one of them. It's more about how to integrate and leverage the benefit of each other to provide better services. That's a very good opinion.
Hope you could hear me. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Okay. Yep. So the next question will be for Mike. Mike, you mentioned earlier that in UK you are using 5G for all different kinds of applications, from tourism, from smart energy management, and even healthcare. And so based on your experience, what would be the application that will benefit most from using 5G?
Let me be very clear. There are many applications that are already benefiting from 3G and 4G even before we get to 5G. Yes. Therefore, I don't think 5G has what some call a killer application. I think the characteristics of 5G will determine what the leading applications are. And certainly the higher capacity should not be forgotten, nor the added security that we see coming with 5G. So if we think about areas to do with resilience and business requirements, I would have thought we're going to see business applications first, particularly in areas like smart factories, particularly in areas like the lower latency that may provide better solutions for campuses and health hospital clinics, but also areas where you might want the higher speed attributes associated with 5G. The other issue with 5G is the better guarantee of service. So the opening up of private networks or tailored networks or network slicing, I think that will show a lot more interest in the business community. But at the end of the day, 5G opens up much more capacity and capability for everybody. So to your very first question, I think there is a real issue about not falling behind. I think moving with 5G and understanding it, trialing it, deploying it, is about staying up to date globally in the 21st century. Because it's no longer just a mobile world, it's a mobile internet world, where everything the internet can offer needs to be accessed, carried, delivered, and secured. Therefore, I think it's opening up a world of applications with more capacity and capability. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's also a very important message. That would be, everyone should be prepared. and embrace this great capability so that when the next opportunity comes, you will not fall behind. Very, very important message. And lastly, Pavel, you mentioned that in one of your projects for Smart City, you are building a digital space or a digital region. Personally, I'm very interested in this idea. And so in your view, how does the 5G and its role in building this digital twin of a space, a building, or even a city?
Thank you for question. About digital twins, I guess we can use 5G and connect, some sensors, so we can. Actually, we have some sensors using 5G here in Russia in a smart, not safe city ecosystem. So we need to minimize delay from sensor to emergency, actually, and we're using 5G for that. And I think that most important way to use 5G in city is an automatic transport systems, because it needs to decrease jitter delay to use automatic transport. 4G, 3G cannot, set this jitter delay like 5G. And I guess not in digital twins, but in automatic transport system, we need to use 5G first. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question to all of our panelists is, that's also part of my experience. We had a few projects, smart city projects with the local government here in Taipei. And one of the challenge for us is city government is very welcome all kinds of innovation in smart city. They would like us and all different players to try these applications and innovation in the city. But the big question is, what will be the next step after the POC? How can we realize such POCs into the real daily city government management? And what is your experience about that? And what is your magic solution for that? Because after all, everybody needs to make money, not just do POC. So maybe this time we will start from Mike.
Thank you for the question. I think city government have got a very important role, but it needs to be in a national context. And that national context needs to be supportive of business, public-private partnerships. So one area where I think city governments could really do more is opening up data stores so that innovation is encouraged from the data side. This plays on the points made by Pavel around AI and digital twin, but also will encourage, with the right mechanisms, innovation from the bottom up, from the entrepreneurs who use the data to innovate. The London Data Store is one great example you should look at, where we've put a lot of data from city services, transport, police, social care, health, into a central data store. And that's led to more innovation and application development in London than almost any other city in Europe. So encouraging the innovation requires access to data, and the city data stores are a good way of doing it, supported by other related ecosystems such as infrastructure as well. But a data store is a key move in the right direction.
Thank you. A very quick follow-up question to you is that, again, this is based on my personal experience. We do, when we had a POC with the local city government and ask for some, as you say, some open data for further big data analytics as an example. and sometimes their response would be it's related to privacy of the citizen. They have concerns. And how do you deal with that privacy issue, especially in EU, you have a very strict GDPR legislation. How do you solve that problem when asking open data from the government?
I think it's very important to have the win-win philosophy at the beginning, which says that the citizen is protected. Normally, data is only provided if it's aggregated and anonymized. Now, that is within the GDPR European principles, but there is no reason why Taiwan should not think about how it can apply similar principles in Taiwan. The reality is that you can't innovate without data, so there needs to be a mechanism to share data which is trusted by the public, but suitably anonymized through aggregation proposals. I also referred to security tech earlier on, and there are lots of security companies in this space that can help to anonymize or help to aggregate or help to do the analytics. And I think it's having a philosophy which is based on data that is collected and shared appropriately.
Yeah, indeed. The trade-off between privacy and open data is a very important issue for further discussion. Thank you. And Kurt, you mentioned that there are quite a few trials and POC going on in Central and Eastern Europe. So how do you, after the end of your trial, how do you make it being realized and so that all of the participants can harvest from that? What would be your magic solution for that?
So first of all, yes, we're testing very much the, let me say, the coverage of the 5G currently in our cities. How do we want to harvest? How do we want to monetize the 5G use cases? I think this was your question, and I beg your pardon for I had a bit of a bad audio. Is still very much, let me say, to be defined or to be developed. We are betting on currently, let me say, the standard services which deliver enhanced mobile broadband, or let me say upselling our TV solutions to B2C customers, to this customer segment. But our focus with 5G is clearly the B2B environment, automation, build in wrapping, let me say, traditional connectivity services with the enrichment of data. Machine learning and the AI plays a vital role for that. Not only that we are optimizing ourselves, but we're optimizing our B2B customers with that. And I think this is where, let me say, the golden pot or the magic sauce should be buried. Of course, this is very much glassball. Future will prove us. Yeah, time will tell. But this is where we are, let me say, focusing most of our work in working together with the B2B partners in developing such use cases and making or solving pain points alone. And if their pain is solved, then actually I think the monetization of that use case is a natural follow-up.
Yeah, sure. I think it's fair to say that 5G plus smart city is still in its infancy. So maybe it would take time for the monetization to work. Thank you. Pavel, you mentioned that you already, in your presentation, you already have a very rich and wide product portfolio. Can you share your experience in monetizing your smart city solution with your local governments?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, first of all, we need to search to actually diversification of cash flow for projects. After POC, like a project with smart bus stops in Nizhny Novgorod, we're seeing 3 different lines of monetizing of this project. And first of all is advertisement. Actually, we put our investments and have profits from advertising companies, like here in outdoor advertising. Second, it's services to city, actually. It's video surveillance, it's CCTV cameras. And third of all, it's, it's operator-to-operator services. They can put their base stations using our infrastructure. So where we can diversificate your cash flows, this project will go. Only with government, it will not work. Because they cannot give you some revenue to invest to this project, actually. And when you diversificate your cash flow, it will be great. B2B, B2C clients, okay, operators, and government. I think half of the cash flow is from B2B market, from advertising, and it fits great.
Yeah, I think it's very important not just to get money from the government, but to have a different cash flow stream from different players in this smart city arena. And also, last but not least, we all know here in Taiwan, China Telecom is the largest telecom company in Taiwan, and they also have all different kinds of smart city projects with local governments. So it's definitely the audience will be very interested in knowing how, being the largest telecom in Taiwan, how do they monetize the smart city solution, especially using 5G at the current stage. Dr. Guo?
Thank you. How to monetize from 5G is really crucial for the operator. Currently, I would say most of the smart city in Taiwan are most funded by government. For example, the 5G, so-called 5G Advanced project. So currently, there's a lot of smart city projects been running. But you all mentioned what will happen, I mean, after the project was ended. So how to come up a sustainable business model, that's really, we would like to pay attention to it. I would say the smart city project is how to monetize is case by case. For example, the policeman enforcement surveillance project. We already got every year you have a budget from government, so it have fund itself. So that part of a smart city project related to that budget looks okay. And a small parking is also can be self-funded from the parking fees. So for those kind of a smart city project, I think that would be in a very good in very good shape. But we also have a smart bus station in Taipei too, but we find out it's not that easy to find a sustainable model, and because the only revenue was coming from the advertising from the signage, and we find out it's not that profitable. But respect to the investment on the infrastructure, usually the balance sheet is not balanced. So it's really case by case. So I would say how to work with the government from the beginning. I mean, they have to realize some of the project can be self-funded, and some of the project you have to you have to have a annual budget to support it. And startup alone can come up a new business model. So it's really case by case.
Yeah, it's very good to know that government is willing to pay, especially for what Dr. Guo just mentioned, the police department, the parking department. At least for that, it's definitely profitable. Before I proceed to the next question, I would like to see if there is any question from our audience here for all of our 4 panelists. Okay, if not, I would like to proceed to our next and the final question before I close our panel discussion. We all know that smart city involves some customization and localization because, of course, every city has a general, has many general and the same problem and issues to solve. However, different cities also have their own issues. So as a solution provider of the smart city, what do you think about using the local intelligence and still you can export your solution to different countries and to different continents? What would be your take on this? So instead of just asking anyone, do we have any volunteer from our panelists about these issues? So let me rephrase my question again. The smart city requires certain customization and localization. So obviously, it might be a problem for bringing these solutions globally. How do you deal with this issue, and would that be a problem or not? Anyone from our panelists?
Shall I start with an answer here?
Yes, please.
I think we should be viewing both 5G and smart cities as part of a digital transformation program. And that applies to every country, wherever you are. In order to do that, I think there's got to be a realization that digital transformation is about international competitiveness of each nation. It's about creating jobs, and it's running a more efficient society. That therefore requires local knowledge, but may also require international solutions that are best in class. And one of the joys of this particular panel and conference is we're discussing ideas that are best in class. So taking some of the best ideas that fit locally has to be something that everybody does. But it has to start with that win-win strategy between the public and the private sectors to do a digital transformation strategy for the nation and the benefits that it brings. It doesn't mean buying local all the time, but it does require local knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. How about Pavia and Kurt? You have many footprints in Central, Eastern Europe and Russia, respectively. What do you think about bringing this your solutions to the global market? What would be the challenges for that? The reason I ask this is in Taiwan, we also have many different private companies having this all sorts of smart city solution. And however, you know that Taiwan is a very small country, and we probably have maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 cities, right? So sooner or later, we will run out of cities to transform it to a smart city. So we definitely need an outlet for that. So I would like to learn from your experience for exporting your solutions outside of your comfort zones.
If I may start, I think this is very much in our DNA. We're operating in 7 different markets, very different markets. If one solution or one, let me say, key use case is being developed in one of the markets, it's very quickly replicated to others. It is customized. This is something which you mentioned before. Every city has its own issue. Every city has of that use case is being replicated or is being reused actually. And this is, I think, very much the key where we are, let's say, using on the one hand the power of our scale to very quickly read or copy use cases between very different markets, but then on the other hand localize it very much. So this is where we're looking for, and then going to the world market. I think here we're sticking to our footprint here. We won't very much export, but we're looking for partnering. So getting ideas from successful markets inside our footprint is very much what we are looking forward to.
Yeah, that's good. Kurt?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Sorry, I thought you had a question, sorry.
Okay, so my question is, you now have a very strong stance and footprint in Central and East Europe. I believe you must have been planning to explore your solution outside that region, maybe to the other parts of Europe and maybe even Asia, for example. What would be your approach and your strategy for that? Kurt, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. As I said before, we are, let me say, replicating our use cases and solutions within our footprint. We are bound to our infrastructure. Here we are not so much actually looking to export our solutions. We're very much looking to import ideas and use cases into our ecosystem. And partnering that way, we see ourselves as true enablers for the well-being of the society using 5G, for example, and importing use cases like from Taiwan. We're very much betting, for example, on the technology coming out of Taiwan. We have built this in our solutions, especially for the 5G receptions. But here we are very much looking forward to replicate use cases within our footprint and not so much exporting those use cases, to be honest.
Great. It's a great news to all of the Taiwanese vendors, because we do have all sorts of solutions waiting for exporting to different regions. And finally, being again the largest telecom in Taiwan, as far as I know, there are many different international cooperation projects going on between Chunghwa Telecom and maybe other telecoms in different regions as well. So we would like to learn more about Chunghwa Telecom's experience on exporting these solutions.
Thank you. To be honest, I don't really have the answer for this one, but we do realize the smart city solution. You want to customize. I mean, is a norm. I mean, every project different. I mean, every city has its own issue and question. So our strategy is to, instead of to build up an in-house solution to fit all the different needs. We team up or align with a different vertical solution partner. So we have a so-called open to all alliance policy. So so in different vertical, for whoever want join this alliance, we are all welcomed. So in different cases, we will find a suitable company to work with us. I think in terms of going abroad, I think we were still using the same strategy to explore our solution.
Thank you. Thank Doctor for his experience and strategy of Chunghwa Telecom on this. And without further delaying our schedule, I would like to have a final call for any questions to our from the audience to our honored panelists. Any question for our panelists for today's panel discussion? If not, so
I would like to say,
yes.
I'm sorry, I would like to say one thing, that I'm truly agreed with Dr. Short about international collaboration, because you really don't need to invite a bicycle every time you're trying to use digital solutions. Yes, we're ready to share our expertise, but it's about digital transformation, and it's about collaboration of international solutions. Just use these cases and try to fit these cases in your city. Maybe it will work, like maybe our cases worked. Maybe it will not, but if you will not try, you don't know it will work or not. So, first of all, trying. Second, I guess, international collaboration. It will be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing this with us. So, like I said, on behalf of the organizer, I would like to thank again of our panelists for their time and sharing their experience with us this afternoon. Let's give all of our panelists a round of applause.
And thank you, Professor Cho, for moderating the panel discussion.
Thank you.
And we also like to express our most sincere thanks to our panelists, including Dr. Kuo from Chunghwa Telecom, and our 3 experts representing world-leading telecom operators from various countries, including Mr. Kurt Schlager, Dr. Mike Short, and Mr. Pavel Shelev. Thank you all for joining us. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the 2021 World Telecom Smart City Conference. We would also like to thank all the speakers from Taiwan, as well as from abroad, for sharing their expertise and insights with our audiences, both online and on-site. With that, we conclude this forum, and we hope to see you at the World Telecom Smart City Conference in 2022.
But